and jumping in here and asking me a question. All right, so I shared with you yesterday, day before, that there was 600, and thank you, Justin. There was 681 listings that came off the market here in our local MLS between June 30th and July 1st. Now, what's the opportunity? Well, the opportunity for you is to go get your unfair share of those expired and canceled listings. And I believe that this is going to be something that you're going to want to include in your lead generation model for, quite honestly, I can't tell you it's going to be 6 months, a year. I don't know, maybe a couple of years. It's just going to be a big part of what you do for the future. How's that? All right. I'm going to give this to you step by step, and I'm going to talk to you about what I would do if I were in production today. And my goal was to list more expired listings and more canceled listings. So start every day by pulling up a list of new expired listings. You could do this by going into the MLS and setting up a search based on the geographic area that you want to work. You could also purchase Red X or Vulcan 7, and they will send you a list of new expireds every single day. The advantage to working with Vulcan 7 or Red X or a company like that is they're going to do the search for you. They'll also send you phone numbers, and they will scrub the list for people who are on the do not call list. In other words, easier. Yes, it's going to cost you money to do that. And budget model for MREA, red light, green light. If you spend money on Vulcan 7, then hold it accountable for a return on the investment. If you're spending $200 a month, and for example, you're spending $2,400 a year, you're going to want back at least $10,000, at least make it $20,000 in return in order to get a return on your investment. All right, back to doing the search yourself. You can go into the MLS and pull a list of new expires and cancels every single day. Now, pull these up individually. Click on the tax ID number. It'll tell you who owns the property. And a lot of times you're going to find, not a lot of times, but some of the times you're going to find a phone number for the homeowner right through public records. If you can't, there's plenty of search engines via Google where you can search for phone numbers. One of them is Zaba Search. It's Z-A-B-A. And you can search for phone numbers. And focus on the phone numbers you can find. You know, one of the things that real estate agents will say to me is, John, there's 50 new expired listings, and I only found the phone number of 20 of them. Well, cool. You found phone numbers for 20. Focus on that. Don't focus on the 30 that you didn't get. And if you found 10 a day that you can find the phone numbers for, and you did this every work day of the month, and you're working 4 weeks, 5 days a week, that's 20 days in a month. That's 200 new expired and canceled listings that you have to follow up with every single month. Now, take the ones that you can't find the phone numbers for. And I want you to do two things. One, I want you to email every single listing agent who had the expired listing that you can't find the phone number for. And here's what I want you to say. The email simply says, I'm this, back up for a moment. I have to get into role play mode. Hey, Shirley, this is John Dietz. I'm reaching out to you because your listing at 123 Main Street came off the market. If you're planning on relisting that property, please ignore my email. However, if you are not planning on relisting that property, I will gladly pay you a referral fee of 25% for the homeowner's contact information. Now, when you send that email out, some real estate agents aren't going to like it, and you're going to get a response back that ain't so nice. Just delete, ignore, next. And some real estate agents will respond back with, sure, of course, here's their contact information. Go get them. I'll gladly take a referral fee of 25%. And We listed an average of 12 to 15 homes every single month on the Deets team in the middle of a shift, very similar to what you're seeing right now. And we would list 2 or 3 homes a month from these emails that I'm telling you to send. In other words, it worked. And if it worked for me, it'll work for you. So do it, please. The next thing I want you to do with all of the expired and canceled listings that you can't find the phone numbers for is I want you to pick 3, 4, 5 a day. It could be 1 a day, but it needs to be at least 1. And I want you to go knock on their door. Again, if you're working 20 days a week and you pick 1 a day, that's 20 homes that you're visiting and knocking on the door to have a conversation with someone that you couldn't find the phone number for. Now, create an 8.5 by 11 bullet point resume of why they should call you. It doesn't need to be long. It doesn't need to be extremely detailed. Just give them a couple bullet points why they should call you. In other words, if you're part of the Keller Williams Coral Springs Market Center, I work with the #1 real estate office in Coral Springs, Parkland for listings sold. There's a bullet point for you, and it's true. Fact. We're selling our listings in an average of less than 30 days on the market for an average of 99.5% of the asking price. Again, it's fact and it's true. And it's valid for you to say that because I said we, not you. This is not your resume. This is your team's resume. You could also include in there that your listings are 100% satisfaction guaranteed, that if the seller decides that they want to cancel the listing at any time, they can with no fee and stipulation. You could also include in there that you have a flexible fee, that depending on how their property is sold, your fee is anywhere from 3 to 6%. The goal of creating this flyer that you're going to leave at the front door is you want somebody to give you a call. It's a MOFR, okay? Making an offer for immediate response. And this works. And sometimes it doesn't work right away. Sometimes it might be 2 or 3 months later, you get a call from someone that you left this flyer for. All right, now let's get to the conversations. Every morning, I want you to start calling expired listings and cancel listings. And the script is super simple. Hey, Diane, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. The reason for my call is I noticed your listing came off the market. And are you still interested in selling your home? Now, remember when you're making phone calls to expired listings, they're not necessarily excited to get your call. They've gotten calls from other real estate agents and they might not be real happy. So get to the question as quickly as you can. Don't ask them how they're doing because they're not doing great. Shirley, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, just curious, are you still interested in selling your home? Get to it quickly. Hey, Vito, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, if I had an offer on your home today, would you want me to bring you the offer? Kimberly, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, I specialize in selling homes that should have but didn't, like yours. And I was just curious if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time. Would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Let's see. I'm picking names off my screen here. Tara, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. I noticed your listing came off the market. Just curious, if I had a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you the offer? Now, your goal is to get in the door. Your goal is to schedule a face-to-face appointment. I'm not focused on getting listing appointments, although that is the end goal. My goal is just to get an appointment. In other words, I don't want to list my home. No worries. I understand. And if I had a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you the offer? Now, when you hear, do you have an offer? Your response is, great question, and I won't know until I see your home. That's exactly why we should get together. I just need 10 or 15 minutes so I can pop by and take a look at your home and potentially bring you an offer. When you hear, my home was on the market for 6 months, where were you? Your response is, great question. And the reason that I didn't show your home is because I didn't know it was for sale. Now, I know that it was on the MLS. There's thousands of homes on the MLS. And if you were to hire me, part of my job is to let all of the top agents in the area know that your home is for sale. In other words, Tara, if you were to hire me, I would email all of the top agents in our market and I would let them know your home is for sale. I would also call all of the agents in our market and I would let them know your home is for sale. And quite honestly, the reason I never showed your home is because your agent never called me. Now, if I had a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you the offer? Go back to the closing question. Overcome the objection and go back to the closing question. In other words, I'm going to I'm going to list it with the previous agent. I understand. And Vito, you don't owe them anything and you certainly don't owe me anything, but you do owe it to yourself to hire the best agent for the job. Wouldn't you agree? Now, what are they going to say to wouldn't you agree? No, I disagree. I want to hire a crappy real estate agent. No, they're going to say yes. And I bet if I had an offer, even if you do relist with your previous agent, if I had an offer on your home, you'd want me to bring you the offer, wouldn't you? Again, what are they going to say? They're going to say no. Okay. And if you relist with your previous agent next week, and if I can bring you an offer between now and then, you can actually sell your home for 3% versus 6%. In other words, you'd save money. And if I could bring you that offer, you would want me to, wouldn't you? Again, what are they going to say? No, I don't want you to bring me the offer. When they say yes, your response is, that's exactly why we should get together. Now, I can meet with you tomorrow at 4 p.m. or would 5 p.m. be better for you? When they tell you they're taking a break, ask them, if your home would have sold, where were you moving to? And what's important about moving to blank? Are you still interested in getting there? And if you put your home back on the market 6 months from now, because they've told you call them back in 6 months, right? If you put your home back on the market in 6 months from now and there's more homes for sale, in other words, there's more competition, is it going to be easier or harder to sell your home? And one more question before I let you go. Between now and 6 months from now, if a buyer came to your home and offered you full price, I see that you're asking $700,000 for your home. If a buyer came to you and offered you $700,000 for your home, what would you do? When they say, I would sell it, your response is, can that buyer bring you an offer if your home's not on the market? They're going to say no. And your response to that is, that's exactly why we should get together. It'll only take me 30 minutes. I can share with you what I can do to get your home sold for more money in less time. Now, another response to where were you is, in my experience, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, it usually comes down to one of three reasons. It's either price, presentation, or marketing. And just out of curiosity, which of those three do you believe is the reason your home didn't sell? Now, what do you think you're going to hear to that? What do you think they typically say? Remember, they love their home. Their home is their castle. It's beautiful. So we take presentation out. They're not going to say my home didn't sell because it looks like crap. They also believe their home is worth what they're asking. Matter of fact, they probably think it's worth more. So they're not going to say because it was priced too high. Now, that doesn't mean that's never going to happen, because it's happened and it may. But most of the time, you're going to hear marketing. Your response to that is, if I could show you one way that I market my listings that maybe your previous agent didn't, that would cause you to sell your home, would you want to meet with me? All right, I'm going to take a break. I've been talking 20 minutes nonstop. By the way, if you're taking notes, you just got a whole bunch of scripts, didn't you? All right. Talk to me. Ask me questions. Give me another objection that you're hearing why you're not making these calls or why you're not getting appointments. If you have a limiting belief that you want to chat with me about, let's do that. Mama Shu, talk to me.
Yeah, I was just curious, did you keep any of those letters that you sent out that you can share with us? Because I took notes and everything, but I feel like I'm just curious if you have anything to share with us.
Honestly, I don't, Diane. And honestly, it's exactly what I said. It was, you know me well, right? So super high D, you know, it's going to be short. It was, hey, Diane, I'm reaching out to you because as you, I'm sure you know, your listing at 123 Main Street came off the market. And if you plan on relisting that home, please just ignore my email. However, if you are not going to relist that home, I will gladly pay you a referral fee of 25% for simply providing me with the homeowner's contact information.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. So, yep, I'm going to show it to you after I do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It really is. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. I think it might be in Rainmaker. I don't know. I haven't read my book in a while. All right. Anybody else?
It is in Rainmaker.
It is. There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Clarissa.
You know what, John?
Talk to me.
I think that's a great idea. But if I'm doing, if I'm doing my area, I think I'd go knock on their door.
Okay. So Juanita says she would knock on their door versus making a phone call. And I'm fine with
Or
that.
the email. If I can't find the number, go knock on the door.
We'll do both.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Do both. Again, I'm happy to pay 25% referral fees all day long to go get these listings. Happy. Besides, for me, I want to recruit that agent to Keller Williams. It's a great opportunity for me to make a connection with a real estate agent that I can follow up with, right? All right, let's talk about what happens next. And
I must say the benefit of that is if it's a rental, you at least get the actual landlord's information.
yeah.
What did she say?
Yeah. Carolyn, can you repeat that?
I said the benefit of that is if the place is a rental, you'll get the landlord's information.
There you go. You get the landlord's information if it's a rental. 100% correct. Okay, so I want to give you a visual of what this looks like. You're making these calls, you're knocking on the door in order to create a face-to-face appointment with someone whose listing has come off the market, whether it's an expired listing or canceled listing. Your goal is to get face-to-face. Now, what I would love for you to work on is creating a standard of one person every day that you're going to meet with who has a listing that has come off the market, whether it's a canceled listing or for sale by or expired listing, doesn't matter. You're face to face with 250 people over the next 12 months. That's based on working 50 weeks, 5 days a week, taking 2 weeks off. Now, if you take a month off, good for you. And now you're working 48 weeks times 5 days, do the math. All right. Now, if the purpose of the call is to get an appointment, what's the purpose of the appointment? It's not to get a listing. Make sure you heard me say that. Mindset. It is not to get a listing. The 3 questions that every homeowner is asking themselves the moment you knock on their door and they open the door, the 3 questions they're asking themselves are, can I trust you? Do you care about me? Do you know what you're doing? And when you call someone and you tell them, I don't want to list your home, I want to help you sell your home, embedded command. Make sure you're listening to all of the embedded commands, right? I want to help you sell your home. And if I had an offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer? That's exactly why we should get together. I just need 10 or 15 minutes to pop by so I could take a look at your home, take some notes, ask some questions, so that I could potentially bring you an offer and help you sell your home so that you can move to Tampa in order to be with your family. All right. Now, the purpose of the appointment is to build a relationship, to create value, and to look for opportunity. And the moment I knock on the door, I realize that my job is to convey, I care about you, you can trust me, and I know what I'm doing. So Carolyn opens the door. This is my Kodak moment. I have 10 seconds to make a great first impression. Hey, Carolyn, I'm John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. We had an appointment for 4 p.m. and it's 4 p.m. May I come in? The moment I step in that front door, Juanita, wow, you have a beautiful home. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm excited for the opportunity to help you sell your home. Now, Juanita, what I would love for you to do is to take me on a tour of your house. I'm going to ask some questions and I'm going to take notes. This is the information I'm going to use to help you sell your home. All right. Would you like me to take my shoes off? Are my shoes okay? Now, as you tour the house, like their home, be enthusiastic. Don't go through the house and start pointing out everything that's wrong with it. Like their home. Ask questions. Take notes. Take notes out loud. What does that mean? That means as I'm walking through their house, beautiful vaulted ceilings, crown molding, hardwood floors, updated kitchen. Holy cow, I love your kitchen. Granite countertops, maple cabinets, stainless steel appliances, travertine floors. You know, Juanita, I know you shared with me that you've lived in your home now for 10 years. Just curious, how old is the roof? How old is your AC system? You've got 5,000 square foot, big house. How many AC units do you have? I can see that you back to this beautiful canal, and I see boats on the canal, Nick. Just curious, do you have unlimited access to the Atlantic Ocean, or are there any fixed bridges that you need to go under? I'm asking questions that a buyer would ask, right? And I'm taking notes. I'm demonstrating that I care about you, you can trust me, and I know what I'm doing. You also have an opportunity to dig for motivation as you're going on this tour. So Juanita, remind me, if your home would have sold, where were you moving to? What's important to you? I'm probably in both parts here. We're good. What's important to you about moving to Tampa? In other words, what would that do for you? And are you still interested in getting there? Hey, you know, I noticed that the property came off the market at $750,000. I'm just curious, did you get any offers? What do those offers look like? When they tell you they got an offer for $725,000, but they rejected it, ask them, you know, Nick, if you got that same offer today, what would you do? If you knew the market was shifting and values were dropping and $725,000 maybe is the highest offer you're going to get, and you got it again, what would you do? Now, here's the value in that, guys. If they say I would sell, getting their listing and getting it sold might be as simple as getting it back on the market at the same price that it came off the market. In other words, all we have to do is get that offer again, and the house is sold. You guys get that? Okay, back to the conversation. All right, before, no, that was off script. That was between me and you. Okay. Before you leave their home, the exit conversation on an expired cancel listing is very similar to the exit conversation on a for sale by owner. In other words, Nick, before I go, is it okay if I ask a couple questions? Sure. Yeah, you know, in my experience, when a homeowner has a listing that came off the market, they generally have a game plan for how long they're going to wait before they put their home back on the market with a professional like me. Just curious, what's your game plan?
30 to 60 days.
Okay, cool. So Nick, 30 to 60 days. Now my goal is to bring you a buyer in the next 30 to 60 days so we can get your home sold so you can get to Tampa. In the meantime, I can promise you I'm really good at follow-up. I'm real persistent, but I'm not pushy, which means I'll stay in touch with you.
Sure.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Do I want to list Nick's home? Actually, no. I want to sell his home. You listen to me. I want to sell his home. And I'm going to have a conversation with them about that because they're going to say, you're just here because you want to list my house. This is a tactic that you use in order to get listings. And you need, if they're not saying it, they're thinking it. You need to proactively handle this. You know, a lot of real estate agents who are coming by to take a look at your home, they probably want to list your home. You're probably right. With me, that's not the case. I really don't. I want to sell your home. Matter of fact, I make more money if you don't hire me.
How's that?
There, that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I'm looking at you like, how's that too?
Yeah. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say, how's that? Well, you see, if you were to hire me, it's going to cost me money to put your home in the MLS. It's going to take time, which is also money. I'm going to spend money on advertising and marketing your home. There's carry cost every day your home is on the market. It's costing me money versus if I bring you a buyer, you're going to pay me 3%. You told me on the phone to represent that buyer in the sale of your home, which is the same amount I get if I sell your home, but I get it without all of the overhead. I'm actually making more money, aren't I? So why wouldn't I want to bring you a buyer? Now, what is that telling them? It's telling them if I don't bring you a buyer, it's not because I don't want to bring you a buyer. It's because I don't have one. Now, here's that conversation. You know, John, you came to look at my house 2 weeks ago and you haven't brought a buyer. Sure, Nick, I understand. I'm playing both parts again here. And can I share with you why I haven't brought a buyer?
Yeah, please.
Because no one's calling me about your house.
Okay.
Now, the reason no one's calling me about your house is because I'm not marketing your home. You see, I'm selling houses and I'm getting calls on the properties that I have listed. So I do have buyers that are calling, but they're calling on other properties. And since those properties aren't exactly like yours and they're not in exactly the same location, those buyers are not the right buyer for your home. Now, if you want me to get more calls on your home, you need to hire me. Now, when somebody says, you came to look at my house 2 weeks ago and where's the freaking buyer? Is that frustration?
Yes.
Okay, what's another word for frustration in my world? What's another word for frustration? Opportunity, my new favorite person. As soon as I see frustration, as soon as I hear frustration, I'm thinking, you know, Juanita, if I'm being too aggressive, please forgive me. However, if you were to hire a professional like me, you would want to hire an aggressive agent, wouldn't you? And if I'm being too aggressive, please forgive me. It sounds like you might be thinking that it's time to hire a professional and get your home sold. If I could show you, I'm not waiting for an answer to that question. It's a setup. I'm playing chess, remember? If I could show you how I could sell your home for more money and less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Say I don't want to list my home.
I don't want to list my home.
Yeah, I understand. And don't list your home. I'm cool with that. The question is, are you at least curious to see what I would do to get your home sold for more money and less time?
So good.
Well, yes or no? Are you
Yes.
curious?
Yes,
Okay, so tomorrow at 4 o'clock, or would 5 be better for you?
5 o'clock.
Guys, I hope you took notes. I hope you paid really close attention today, because whether you know it or not, in the last 30 minutes, I just gave you everything you need to go out and list 2, 3, 4, 5 expired cancel listings every 30 days. It's the recipe. We're baking a cake, right? All you got to do is write it down word for word and then follow the recipe step by step. Don't leave anything out. All right, I'm going to close with this. You went on 250 appointments, you met with 250 sellers, and success happens here. Success happens in the follow-up. And remember, we follow up forever because we reject rejection, because no is not a word that lives in our vocabulary. No simply means not yet. And we follow up systematically, which means I'm going to call once a week for the first 4 weeks. And then I'm going to call once a month forever. The longest period of time that it took me to get from here to a listing, that's my for sale sign in their yard, was 3 years and 89 calls. Did you hear that? 3 years and 89 calls. For a year and a half, it was voicemail, Nick. For a year and a half, 18 months, nobody answered the phone. And every single time, hey, Nick, John Dietz again, just checking in. If there's anything I can do for you, give me a call. 727-686-0404. Make it a great day. That was it. A month later, hey, Nick, John Dietz again, just checking in and following up as promised. If there's anything I can do for you, I'm a phone call away. Give me a call, 727-686-0404. Make it a great day. You guys get this? Now what happens is there's a time when all 250 of these homeowners, because you met with 250 face-to-face, got it? There's a time when all of them are going to get serious about putting their home back on the market. It's right here. And what you're doing is you're creating emotional proximity by following up, which means when I get serious about selling my home, I'm simply going to look up and hire the person who's closest to me. Sometimes success is just about hanging in there long enough for me to make a new decision based on new information. Guys, it's why I like the duck story as much as I love the duck story when I tell you to lead generate like a duck, because a duck would never give up. A duck just keeps quacking until somebody gives it food. It doesn't know any better. A duck doesn't get its feelings hurt. It doesn't stay home because it's tired or it's hot or it's cold or it's raining or their flipper got hurt. Wake up, quack, eat. Do the same thing tomorrow. Okay, talk to me.